So Mr. Kalasco Demaru also should be quoted. He said, according to the interview he granted, that the former maritime boss,
Mhm.
Eugene Nangbe, placed a call to the foreign minister, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs,
Mhm.
Minister Sylvester Grisby,
Mhm.
and he told him about the situation, the information they gathered while they were still in Ghana
Mhm.
before they started coming to Liberia. And told him that XYZ thing has happened. We've been informed that we're not going to be using the presidential lodge. What's going on out there? Our security are on the ground because the president had advanced security at the airport waiting for his arrival. The former president
Mhm.
waiting for his arrival. So with that information, they had to convey it to Ghana, where the president was at the time. So the information is that the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs told him that he would have gotten back to him, and that did not happen. So that for me, if it is anything to go by, the fact that except Kalasco is trying to embellish the facts, all right. But if it is saying, if you say the truth, it means that it was a calculated thing. This information was not communicated to the persons concerned, that this area henceforth, this new regime considers this place as it per its nomenclature,
Mhm.
that it is the presidential lodge. No other person, whether VIP or so, should use it. Maybe it is the name that has been changed from VIP to presidential lodge, which distinguish it from other VIP
They
lodges
said
in
there are
the area.
two other places. There are two places. They are the old and the new. The new is what they call the presidential
And
launch.
that's how then let's establish a fact whether it is Boaka that completed. So let's take another angle for it. In fact, Timas, from what you mentioned,
Mhm.
quoting what you say Magdala Kopo said, which I did
Mhm.
not hear from her. According to you, you said that she mentioned that that place was completed by current president Boakai.
That's what she said.
Is it about um if you do not work, you cannot chop theory, that because he completed it, therefore this man should
He
not,
because he
this
finalized
he
finalized the
finalized
payment
the
of
work,
the.
the payment
So,
of the work, therefore the
mhm.
former president should not use it. Then I would then ask Mr. Boakai through his senior political advisor, Madam Magdala Cooper, where do we start with the national unification? Where do we, no, T-Max is important for us to go there.
Don't go
Where
that
do
far.
we start with
No, no,
national
no.
unification?
National
If
unification.
something
National
happens,
unification doesn't mean
mhm,
President, we one day walk up and go to Judge Bakas's office and say, look, I want to have a meeting here because we want to have national reconciliation. It doesn't go that way.
no,
No, no, no, no,
that's not
no.
what I'm saying,
You have the VIP,
Mhm.
you have the presidential launch.
When did it start? How long has it been?
I don't know.
Is it in a no? In the first place, the fact that a call was placed to the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs, it means that this information was concealed from the former president's delegation, or he and his entourage, from the former president's entourage. So therefore, you left a room for this man to be placed in a box where you
But
will cause embarrassment for him.
my point
His
is,
former president, Mr. T-Max, whether he's former president or not, I think in this, for us, we the young people in this generation, we need you people to teach us how to honor people that have served this nation, regardless of whatever position, whatever way they served. If they had challenges, yeah, fine. This man just left power in less than 2 months. He's experiencing humiliation. I don't think this is
I
something
don't call
that we
that
should.
humiliation.
Well, it
No,
is humiliation.
no, I
If
don't call
somebody had communicated with Mane
the,
that if you come to Liberia, that is prior even to him picking a call to come to Liberia, or place a call to the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs, it would have been important to show respect for the former president, whether he has corruption scandal or whatever and thing, whether he did not represent this country properly. He should have been accorded that full respect, that, sir, to avoid future embarrassment, when you come to Liberia, this is where you're going to use. No need. I don't think Mr. Weah would have ventured around using the presidential lodge when he was fully informed about this change of
my,
protocol. That's just my
Labendi,
take. Yeah.
Labendi,
Mm.
this room is the 50-50 room.
Right.
Does not preclude the fact that this room is not within Sky Communications.
No.
You getting that clear?
Right.
They have the VIP. We is for VIP.
Mm-hmm.
I have never put my foot on a place from the time I became a man. I've never walked on a VIP terrain. I've never done that. I'm not a VIP.
I'm going.
No. I'm not. I'm not.
Anyway, right.
President George Mane Weah, former president of the Republic of Liberia, is Liberia's VIP.
Right.
He's not the president. He is the former president. So I don't see why are people making noise about it. If I were man, I would about it quietly. As long I was not thrown out there, I wasn't very happy.
Why would anyone even attempt to,
No.
to insinuate
No,
that, to even suggest in such analysis that,
for people to start
right,
thinking,
right,
reading into this thing negatively, that you said you man back out and his team say don't go there.
isn't that how this government made it to seem?
No.
Isn't that how the Bouakas regime made it to seem?
Except somebody have some dubious thinking.
Well,
the thing is that there is a presidential law.
I'm drawing from some of the points.
For God's sake, Georgia was not in. It was in a VIP.
T-Max, let's put this in this context. I want to give this analogy from the explanation you provided about what you said. Magdala Kopo said, and I quoted Kula Fofana as well as Mr. Kalasco Damaro. If you invite me to a program, and I bluntly tell you that I am not going to attend your program, I cannot make it. Maybe provide a valid explanation for which I would not make it at your program. Then at the end of my explanation, I tell you, however, remember, the last time I invited you, you did not show up to my program. Don't you think that valid explanation I'm going to be providing for which I cannot make it at your program, the latter point of my statement will dilute the importance of that excuse? Because I am, in other words, saying to you, I am returning a favor. So to say that because it is Boakai that completed, finalized this area, for me, it suggests to me, regardless of the structure of how VIPs and executive are, it suggests to me that you can use it because I use my finances. You could have done it.
I'm not reading into that. I don't think that what the VIP is reading into that. I think she was giving the history of how that stuff was finalized. It's got nothing to do.
But what took us there in the conversation?
It doesn't preclude who uses it. It is, look, I don't see why we're making mountain of a mold. I don't see why we're making mountain out of a mold.
It's
former President George Manuel Weah is a VIP. He is a VIP. I think he was accorded the VIP status.
Right.
Except, come on, you can't want to be a VIP when you enter a presidential law. Is that what making you a senior citizen of Liberia?
Was this information communicated to Mr. Weah? Is the speaker aware of this? Is the order the pro tem, all these stakeholders in the country?
So let's leave that alone.
Right. We can shift to another talking point. But it's important that
was what happened.
Right.
That was what happened at the arrival ceremony at the Brabazon National Airport.
Right. And I think next time we should work on ensuring that proper communication is in place, and who's supposed to be informed about things should be aware. I told friends when I used to present the Capital Breakfast Club, we had a system. If you were invited as a guest, you come here, you're 20 minutes late, you're not going to enter.
No.
May so rest in peace, Mabudu Vla Yimpan had to go to Chris Wallow and appealed on one occasion because he came 30 minutes late. And I told him you were not entering. That's a system. He's aware of that. He did not, they did not, meet him, that, oh, Matthias, he came here, this boy is being disrespectful. I was just trying to tell him the system that was put in place by the management.
And Vlad was not aware of that.
He was aware.
Vlad was not aware.
He was aware.
Or else Vlad wouldn't have shown up after 30 minutes.
Vlad was aware.
But when you enter the president, the VIP,
right,
you see two categories of places.
And you see presidential laws, and you see VIP.
You see VIP.
So you
I find my way to the VIP if I'm okay.
Now you soften.
I'll find my way to the VIP.
Now you soften the whole thing.
You enter the plane. We are in the plane. Whether you are in the tail of the plane, you are staying on the plane. But in the plane, they have first class.
Right.
They have economic class.
You don't just go and walk to first class.
Just walk because
so now you're saying to me, T-Max, that I expected money to know this.
You should have known that. You should have known that.
That's the English I didn't want.
When you leave in the airport, when you leave in the plane, they say the sign is saying exit. Exit, get out.
Yeah.
When you get out, they get so many signs to follow. You entering. They say VIP. I'm VIP for God's sake. I'm former president of the People's Republic of Liberia. I'm a VIP.
I'm a VIP.
You look on the other side and say presidential launch.
I'm not a president.
I am not the president.
I'm former president.
I ain't gonna quote you. I ain't gonna quiz you. I ain't gonna tutor you to what it means. It connotes presidential launch.
Well, one point. So let's move on.
So Mane enter and political pundits started spinning that that theory. Oh, Brackett is picking something at Mane so early. Mane just left a month ago, and Mane came back and this. Let me take it back.
Mhm.
There are difficult days ahead.
Ahead of what? Ahead of who?
Difficult days ahead of this country. I can remember before Mane.
Don't be a doomsday messenger, T-Max.
No. I can remember when Mane,
Mhm.
because the things that's happening now,
Mhm.
just read into that. One, I think Mane said in his church prior to his leaving
Right.
for this vacation, he said, "Come on, I'm done with politics.
Right.
I'm done with politics.
Right.
I play my part. Africa's best, European best,
Right.
world best, President of the People's Republic of Liberia. I've done that.
I've done a lot.
I've done that. I've won
Right.
laurels. I'm gone.
I'm relaxed.
I'm leaving the stage.
2020 now will be 60 something years old.
It would surprise you.
That's the point I was,
I'm getting
Yeah,
to that.
right.
It will surprise you when Mane arrived.
Mhm.
He came from a vacation, and Mane said he will be busy
putting this party together.
it will be doing some political work for his party.
Mhm.
Mind you, read my lips.
Mhm.
It could detract, it could subtract the kind of person you want to be.
Mhm.
In the African setting, Donald Trump was former president.
Mhm.
Donald Trump is in political business. Donald Trump is being paraded at the floors of courts
Mhm.
in America.
Mhm.
Mane has come to do political work
In Liberia.
in Liberia. That makes Mane, not our retired president, who vowed not to be in politics,
Mhm.
we're making an opposition. Opposition political leaders in Africa
Right.
are not treated kindly by the incumbent. Read my lips. Read my lips. Today, he wanted to go to the presidential launch. He was denied. Just a month ago when he was president.
Mhm.
When he begins to be doing some political work,
Mhm.
it will put him in the league of an opposition,
Right.
which might not speak kindly of him. Or what to a wise, I think should be sufficient.
One shocking one that got me laughing and my rib cracking this morning,
Mhm.
was the party mentioned that he's going to involve into speaking against ills in society. It was the biggest or the greatest comic reliefs I've ever gotten, for many years, T-Max.
Man, talking about ills.
I mean,
in
he's
society.
talking about speaking against ills in society. What? That's what T-Max just said. I took off time. I was not.
Let me give you. Don't waste my time.
Right.
Let me give you
Anyway.
when the president tells you, I will talk about the ills in society.
Right.
I will talk about the abuse of law,
Right.
abuse of people's rights. I will talk about this menace called corruption.
Right.
Man will be talking about that.
Right.
What make it coming up to you?
It's comical because
What
I mean,
makes it coming
I'm asking whether
Man has finally realized there are ills in the Liberian society.
now listen to the statement. Listen to the specific word that you chose in ending that talk. Mane has finally now, T-Max, I'm not going to go there, right? But here is the point I was making. When people use words,
Mhm.
sometimes it's not how fancy the words sound in their mouths. A psychologist will want to ask, does he or she understand the meaning of the word? Like people say, I'm an intellectual. What does Mane mean by, Mr. President mean by?
I choose my words.
Yeah,
When
I know.
I choose my words.
Right.
6 years, man didn't tell me anything about ills in the society.
In society.
When you talk about the ills in society, you were branded
Now,
as enemy of the state.
of the state during his time.
During this time, that's
Right.
what I said.
Mhm.
Mane has finally realized there are ills in the Liberian society, and he is coming to embark on exposing the ills or fight the ills in society.
And the foundation on which he stood to make that statement is that he's now free. He has enough of time to go on vacations.
Jimmy Cliff
Right.
make a song before.
Right.
Now you're wearing tappers. I don't know whether you're wearing tappers in Foya. I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
Yeah.
Man was here 6 years.
6 years.
6 years the air was in society.
So let me
Man, no.
Mhm.
I can see clearly now. I can't sing because when I sing, guys on the age of 70 will die. So I don't really like
Under the age of 17?
17 would die because I'm not a good singer.
Okay.
So, but the stuff is that
Right.
Jimmy Clay said, I can see clearly now the ring is
The
gone.
ring is gone.
Oh,
I was blinded by the power.
Yes. Man is telling you.
Too many connections.
I didn't see.
Mhm.
He never spoke about ills in society 6 years. He spoke about ills in society when he was in opposition.
Right.
He became president. He wouldn't let anybody talk about somebody being corrupt, money being missing. You were branded. I was one of the victims.
Yeah. Enemy of progress.
Enemy of the state.
Enemy of the state. Right.
Why the movie called Enemy of the State? How they were treated. Mane has finally realized, after being denied the presidential launch, after we did not see the rolling of the red carpet, Mane finally realized he would talk about the ills in society.
He felt bereft of power. He felt little. He did not receive that kind of superstar welcome, as always, where sycophants would gather. People did not get on buses to go and welcome him from the airport. People did not wear party paraphernalia to welcome him. He came on low key. He came up as a private citizen. But T-Max, is the discovery of dead bodies in a car of professional people, is that an ill in society?
I don't know. You're gonna add money for that. Maybe these are things.
Is the discovery of a professional accountant, professional, auditors?
I don't let talk
those discoveries.
I don't let talk about
are they ills in society?
I don't want to talk about the death of my friend.
But Timas, let's ask this other question.
Don't bring tears.
How about discovery?
I don't let talk about the death of my friend Emmanuel.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I see you getting emotional about it.
I don't talk about that.
I'm sorry.
Man say he wants to talk about the ills of society. Give him a chance.
But let's watch.
Let's watch.
Now,
that's one.
Right, let us not leave the energy. Let's connect it directly with ills in society, right? Talking about, I have freedom now. I have more time now to speak. And let's connect something that Mr. Mobile Model is saying. He said in one paragraph of his letter, he said, one factor influencing my decision is the diminishing opportunity for me to effectively fulfill my role as the people's chairman. When something diminishes, it loses strength, it loses substance, it lacks everything, support, everything is gone.
Don't get to Monroe so soon. Let me take that break and when we come. Something was funny. I told you 3 at one blow.
Right.
3 at one blow. CDC has been in our headquarters for Rock of Ages, clear for me. It's a Baptist hymn. So that I memorized it when I was in the 5th grade. Rock of Ages, clear for me. They've been in our headquarters. The headquarters is on the floor of the courts.
Right.
Threatening eviction for arrears of $500,000. That's what we'll get to after the break.
We'll be right back.
After being in the business for more than 20 years, Uptown Garage has all it takes to make your car work best for you. Uptown Garage has brought in all sizes of new quality tires. We also have the efficient and long-lasting Uptown batteries. Uptown Garage has also brought in a state-of-the-art 2022 upgraded diagnostic machine that can easily detect any problem with your car. Don't worry, we can fix it for you. Is your car having any electrical problem? Well, Uptown Garage has a professional electrician from Ghana who is up to the task of programming and solving all of your car electrical problems. Uptown Garage is at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets with the Uptown Spare Parts Store on Broad Street side. We have our garage and new showroom at Rehab at the junction of President Weah's residence. For original spark plugs from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to Uptown Garage. We give 1 month warranty. We also provide a tow truck free of charge if we are the ones to work on your car. But we can also tow your car anywhere for a fee. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 553317 or 0886 553317 or our rehab branch on 0770-902865. Uptown Garage, your 100% Liberian owned, is here to put a smile on your face.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, shifting our focus to a new horizon, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Today, we are making a brighter tomorrow, built by our dreams and our energy. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future. Together. EcoBank. A better way. A better.
After being in the business for more than 20 years, Uptown Garage has all it takes to make your car work best for you. Uptown Garage has brought in all sizes of new quality tires. We also have the efficient and long-lasting Uptown batteries. Uptown Garage has also brought in a state-of-the-art 2022 upgraded diagnostic machine that can easily detect any problem with your car. Don't worry, we can fix it for you. Is your car having any electrical problem? Well, Uptown Garage has a professional electrician from Ghana who is up to the task of programming and solving all of your car electrical problems. Uptown Garage is at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets with the Uptown Spare Parts Store on Broad Street side. We have our garage and new showroom at Rehab at the junction of President Weah's residence. For original spark plugs from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to Uptown Garage. We give 1 month warranty. We also provide a tow truck free of charge if we are the ones to work on your car. But we can also tow your car anywhere for a fee. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 553317 or 0886 553317 or our rehab branch on 0770 902865. Uptown Garage, your 100% Liberian owned, is here to put a smile on your face.
Thank you very much. Back on 50/50 on Sky on a Wednesday morning on Sky 107.1 FM. 3 at 1 blow. The arrival of President George Manawia from vacation. He was met with some sort of embarrassment. He wanted to go to the presidential lunch. They stopped him because they said he's just a former president. He can use the VIP, but not the presidential lunch. And the funny thing again, that place is called Clawea presidential lunch. I've never ever seen that before. How they arrived to that to give the who does that?
I think I'm off. Good. Well, you know that something about Weah that people did not pay keen attention to. He was a subtle dictator in a way that he didn't want people to pay attention to his controlling power. It's like what Plato, the two characters that Plato mentioned in one of his writings. He talked about the loved tyrant. He's hurting you. He's doing all of the evils, but he's celebrated. All right. Then the hated philosopher. He speaks truth to power. He's hated. All right. But he stands for the right thing. But the society vilifies him and celebrates the loved tyrant. So you saw most of the projects he carried on were mostly like his personal, he was doing a favor to Liberia. It didn't come across to many.
The personalization of projects.
Yeah, projects most of the time that everything was like he was doing favor for the country. So it's not a surprise if he names, an airport that he will mostly be using, a particular area in the airport where he will usually use to travel out of the country. And so maybe he thought that he would have won
These
the president. Yeah,
elections?
this is like the gun elections, and that would have been something glory to his wife. It's not about self glorification. Listen to the interaction with the journalist when he came down. I've always won. I've always got honors. Even when he was asked about some accolades he got internationally, he said, well, it's not a new thing. I mean, I've always gotten awards and all of that. That kind of, I don't want to say filibustering posture,
Let's leave that
but
alone.
that kind of
I was just
kind
trying
of
to put a
energy.
nail to that. That
Right.
place is called We Are
Yeah, Cloud.
We Are Presidential Lawn.
Right.
Cloud We Are. And I don't know, Jose Nima Baka, maybe in the future we'll change it to how what the old man's wife name?
Katumo Boakai.
Katuma Baka.
Yeah, Katumo Boakai.
Katuma Baka International Presidential Lawn.
T-Max, you just troubled. I mean, you're too troubled.
So let's move on to eviction. That place is owned by Martha Stubblefield Bernard.
I want to read the judgment from the rate.
Mhm.
It says, for all the reasons detailed herein, judgment is hereby entered in favor of the plaintiff and against defendants as follows. A, the defendants are adjudged liable to the plaintiff for the amount of US $500,000, which are the proceeds from the lease agreement executed by and between the defendants and the Congress for Democratic Change, CDC. B, the defendants are forthwith evicted, ejected, and ousted.
Mm.
And with these kind of strong adjectives, when they're used, the lawyers have a way of telling you that we don't want to use action, physical action. Read the
But
statement.
the description is cruel.
Yeah, it's enough.
The action is cruel.
Yeah.
Evicted,
Yeah.
dejected,
Ejected.
thrown out.
Yeah. You're asked to T-Max.
Expelled.
T-Max is adding.
I'm not a lawyer, but that what it was some.
I don't know why I excite this old man. I think he just
No.
like bad things.
No, not bad things. Come on.
I mean,
It's not bad things. I'm looking at the language.
someone has been evicted, and what is
He's
this?
dejected. He's thrown out. He's expelled. That's what it is.
Removed or be removed?
No. That one is removed.
Removed
Or be removed.
or be removed?
Unless you pay the $500,000.
Yeah,
But
right.
the point is,
Right.
come on, CDC have money.
Yeah, but yeah,
I don't know why CDC would be in such liability.
absolutely.
And they said, because Archie Bernard,
It's a relative of the family.
Of the
right?
family.
Right.
and because of the association with,
Perhaps they thought
CDC.
that could cover them.
they thought that could cover them. And I think CDC did enjoy that relationship from Archie.
Yeah. For
Which
a
is
very
why
long time.
Today, Archie was the legal advisor to President George Manawia
Right.
past 6 years.
Right.
I mean, Archie did a lot for WIA.
Right.
From the days of IE to WIA became what it is. Archie did a lot. And he didn't relinquish his relationship with Mane until Mane became president.
Right.
He was that's why the party. Maybe it is because of the leverage, the relationship of Archie Bernard to the Martha Stubblefield family, that they say, okay, now that the man family people think so will be there.
They will be there.
Now knowing the person, there was an agreement according to the rider of the rate, the conclusion of the rate. So rider, you're supposed to pay. They up to now they owe $500,000.
Right. But T-Max, there's, just in addition to what you said also, people need to understand the difference between friendship and business. The family is doing business. When you enter into a lease agreement,
My point
it is not
whatever happened yesterday, this week to
Mhm.
the CDC, which was being hammered by the resignation of Moru,
right.
was properly timed.
Very timed.
Properly timed. These guys don't money left. Come on, the family wouldn't have sued CDC, would not have evicted CDC when Mane was president. They would not do that.
You don't want to embarrass the president.
You don't want to embarrass the president. You don't want to embarrass Archie,
Right.
who lives on the whims and caprices of the president.
Absolutely.
You don't want to embarrass them.
Right.
But they timed it. They timed it perfectly. Mane is no more president.
You don't have those powers.
He doesn't have those powers. We want our property. It's our property. It belongs to the family. You see the timing.
Right.
Then he arrived at the airport.
You're not
You're
using
not entering
this lodge.
we are. This one is Khartoum International Airport presidential lodge.
Presidential lodge.
You're not entering that. Because some will be changing name by name.
Right.
You're not entering that.
When you named it Kla, now we naming it Khartoum Boakai International
You better
Presidential Lodge.
So So,
Right.
so they went that way,
Right.
and that eviction was timed.
Mhm.
But that was not the only embarrassment. The richest political party in the history of Liberia is the CDC.
Right.
Why wouldn't the CDC pay this liability?
Why would you even give them such accolade? I mean, T-Max. Why are they the
CDC.
richest?
CDC.
Why the richest?
CDC
Mhm.
has money. Read my lips. You stay too long in 4 years.
Now,
you don't.
CDC has money now. Right?
CDC
That was after 6 years.
CDC be having money. You don't. Be
That's after
when
6
CDC
years.
started in 2005 when John Maynard was what $80 million. CDC always has money. I don't know why they didn't pay this liability until they had to go to the floor of the court.
Maybe you
Perfect timing can affect disastrous consequences.
So yes, those disastrous consequences can be attributed to the manner and form in which the very CDC study affairs of the country. Let's look at how recklessly some of the things were done in this place. Statements were made, decisions were made. Things were not working in favor of Liberians at certain fronts. Not entirely, but one can connect the irresponsible posture of some of the actions that they took when they were in power, to what happened to the party. Who wants to live in someone's property without paying rent? Why did they build homes? Because they don't want to be renting. Some of them, before the CDC came to power, they were stuck up in one room with few friends, and so so they acquire properties. That is because they don't want to be.
I would deduce.
Right.
Could be wrong. I would deduce the headquarters was used as a collateral. Get me?
Mhm.
The headquarters could have been used as a collateral for the prominence of Achibonad in the CDC. As long as Achibonad is legal advisor to the president, we live here. That's it. So that was his collateral. Will Achibonad become after they quote resolution? No. Will CDC be forced? CDC is forced to pay the $500,000, which I think is not money for CDC.
No, not at all. That's more money.
There will be peanuts. But the timing was perfect.
So this publication, first, I want to state here, the Independent Probe did this publication, and it did not state the court that issued this rate. So I want to term it as a purported rate until I can verify the particular court that did this and the judge that signed it. So moving forward in the rate, which we mentioned, evicted, ejected, and ousted from the plaintiff's premises, and the plaintiff is hereby put in possession of said premises. So meaning the Bernard's family can now, go there and start to do what they want to do with their property. And I'm told
I wonder that sycamore tree belongs to the Bernard family. I don't know.
It's a tree that probably grew up on the property, and the CDC thought to trim it and give it a name so that they can incorporate many, generations into the ideology of the CDC, the political ideology. So when you get to the sycamore tree, you get certain doctrines from there. You come out, you have to behave like someone who drank from the fountain of the sycamore tree.
The reason why in my Bible in the New Testament, where Zacchaeus went up to that sycamore tree was to get a clear view of this Messiah called Jesus.
People could use the sycamore tree for different reasons. Maybe the CDC is using it to educate their followers.
You just said they did some crazy things. Zacchaeus came from that sycamore tree.
And he repented. Yet
he was a totally new person. So when you go on the sycamore tree, it's self-evaluation and looking at yourself.
I don't think they go on, but rather they sit under the sycamore tree.
Oh, it's under the sycamore tree.
That's why they built something like a stadium leg around it. So they're under the sycamore tree. So they
didn't get the biblical meaning.
Absolutely. So the tree is there, T-Max. And then in addition to this, I think one thing I also want to mention, I just got information recently that the Secretary General built some 3-bedroom property on, at the headquarters of the CDC.
He's gonna move it now.
That the information is that he now resides there. This is something that needs to be verified. That he now resides at the
Kochi now.
Yeah, he now resides at the headquarters of the CDC. He's no longer at his 14th Street residence thereabout. So if he's
they're ruling from the question of poor timing again,
right?
Wrong timing,
right? So it says that once you're there, so I don't think you'll break the property. That obviously you have to leave it.
It's not your property.
It's not yours.
The land takes the property.
The property.
You can do that.
You can do that.
So then the bombshell. Before Maynard could retire, this uneasiness, this embarrassment of their arrival, And the crazy news about eviction.
Mhm.
One day,
Mhm.
crazy news about eviction.
Mhm.
Man was trying to retire. I call him Molu,
Mhm.
handed him the letter of resignation.
Right.
Read that resignation. Read it. Moba Molu is an embodiment of where all the political bodies were buried. You know a lot. And that would be a serious blow to the sustainability, to the growth of the CDC, the absence of Moba Molu. Let me tell you what. These guys, I know them. Moba Molu Akaros, Gray, James Gray, Jeff Kochi. I know them personally. If I tell you something, you might not believe it, but believe you me.
Mhm.
If Moba Molu was a Moba Molu you saw in 2017, CDC would have won these elections.
Mm.
But after the Laker talk stuff, the importance of Moba Molu diminished, if not dwindled. Moba Molu has a halt in the CDC, in the rank and file of the CDC.
Did you say CULT?
Yes.
Court?
Moba Molu is the guy, the first soldier of the CDC. The humiliation he experienced, the marginalization he experienced, if I should borrow from the court, the eviction and rejection he experienced hampered the strength of the CDC. CDC was divided. Don't mind that BS they were carrying through the campaign. CDC were on different fronts. CDC were on different fronts. And for this guy at the 11th hour to give this Brutus blow to Mane for this resignation, we have a serious damaging blow to the growth and sustainability of the wonderful CDC.
Well, those are good points. And I see it from the point where I think somebody had to hold on to where they were because they already did something that would have haunted them had they left.
Mhm.
They talking about the Laker talk.
Mhm.
We all saw how that thing affected the relationship between former President Weah and Moba Molu.
Mhm.
Although, under the watchful eyes of an educated speaker, Buffer Chambers, those assertions from Mr. Moba Molu on record were termed as Laker talk because they did not come from him. He did not describe his talk as Laker talk. It is the body of educated men that were elected from 73 districts in Liberia
Mhm.
that sat down, and maybe 30 or 40% of them agreed that this was Laker talk, ignoring the information in the message. It's more like Satan is coming to you, Lucifer is coming to you to tell you that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Now, would you look at the messenger or the content of the message provided? Mr. Molu helped this society by sharing with us
What happening?
what will later become a norm in the Weah's administration, which spilled over to assistant ministers, directors. The focus was it is time for us to get what the reward for the 12 years of struggle. It's not about the proper agenda. It's not about the establishment of war crimes code. It's not about lifting people from poverty. It's not about paving roads. It's not about improving the society, increasing civility. It's not about building a merit-based society. It's about doing what we can do to help ourselves at this time because we do not know whether we're going to go back there.
In that so-called Laker talk,
Right.
there were damaging revelations.
Absolutely.
Damaging revelations. At that point, Moba Molu on the edge. And I knew Moba Molu wouldn't resign. We have talked. It was surprising that I talked to him.
Exactly.
Those are my guys.
So this resignation is belated.
It's not. It's perfectly timed.
I don't see it this way. It's
It would
very
have-
very belated.
No.
Very belated.
You don't
T-Max.
read into politics. Self-preservation is the first order of nature. You gotta preserve yourself. You gotta know exactly what you're doing. had Molu resign,
Mhm.
the consequences would have been enormous.
Okay.
So you stay there.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see Molu in the campaign visibly,
Because
except to the end of the campaign.
he was not in charge of the budget.
He was not in charge of everything.
The maritime boss, according to the information, was controlling the budget.
Yet
And the
he-
finance minister.
Yet he stayed
Yeah, he stayed.
because people wanted to know what would this guy do.
Right.
That guy is a strategist. He is a strategist. Had he resigned, maybe the story would have been different. But then that's what I call 3 blows. One time, 3 difficult things happen to man in one day.
The diminishing now, there's a part I just want to close up on this. Maybe we're going to engage the public right now. Is that Mr. Molu also mentioned about diminishing opportunity for him to effectively fulfill his role as chairman of the party. The opportunity started diminishing even before he made a statement about Laker talk. Folks were, gossiping about the chairman being put aside by the president most of the time. And he had this clique in his inner cycle that he was mostly confiding in. So to extend to the point of staying in this position for 6 years, one, you talk about self-preservation, which I want to take into consideration. Another thing I also want to look at is that to say diminishing opportunities, I'm very sure not everyone in the party was against Moba Molu.
No.
He's loved. So
Quietly, if you talk to the ideologues of CDC, they will tell you Moba Molu is 110% correct. What he said is true.
It's true.
They will tell you in the
So I'm very sure he will still having opportunities. Some of the opportunities that diminish now, or that has finally diminished, is that the thing about it is that people are not in power. So he could maybe go to the finance minister and say, Mr. Minister, the party is struggling. You know the situation with my man. And none of the guys from the look of things could, can even look at the face of Mr. Weah and tell him the truth, because most of them probably just want to maintain. If I have a friend that does not like the truth and I like the friendship, I'd rather tell him lies to keep the friendship than always tell him the truth and throw the friendship away. So I want to keep him around. So
I'm not going to swear CDC. CDC will never have a grassroots chairman.
The chairman is still in the party. There could be some negotiations. He could go back there.
That's clever again. No.
He's still in the party. He's still a member of the Congress for Democratic Change.
Mulba. The body that was under the palm tree has fallen. The palm one has wasted. The white man say you cannot take spilled milk. It's gone. Mulba wants to rest, and he's saying this quiet to you. I told you so. You will see that. So call us on this time on 0777 You'll be live from 50/50 on Sky 107. 3 at 1 blow. They are Robert of President George Manneh. He was denied entry into the Claria presidential launch. The eviction of the party from the Banan family, by the Banan family from the headquarters of the CDC, and Mulba bombshell, La Costa would say, the resignation as chairman of the party.
We have somebody on the line.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Kimia, you are spoken well.
Okay, his son. Okay, yeah, you are spoken well. So, there are 3 bombshells in the CDC. I think what is happening right here, we say presidential and VIP launch. We can't have 2 presidents. I think the CDC have made they made a new launch for the president. And they happening in a way coincided with where President Weah took an exit. So I think if they communicated with him, I don't know the protocol. If they communicated with him in Ghana, then they didn't do well. But the new protocols, we have President Yuma Bwaka, so that protocols can be served. And on the side of the land issue, I think CDC should be very valorous. And on the side of the resignation of
he's borrowing from. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mosa Molo has stood us around for CDC. I think has been having interference in his work. There's someone want his job. So I think he has done it better. So that someone who could do it more than he or Mosa Molo could be seen. I think this is the political point. And President Weah in order to sit down the floor with valorous to run CDC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Call us on those numbers on 0777 107 3 at 1 blow. The arrival of President George Manneh. We are denied entrance to the Claria presidential launch, the eviction of CDC from the Banan family, and the resignation of Moba Molu, the first soldier. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Timas. Good morning to your co-host.
Good morning.
I don't know his name.
Matthias.
Okay. Thank you. All right. of the issues you people have discussed this morning, I don't see any much problem with entering the VIP lodge or whatever. But what really got my attention is the issue of Molo resignation.
I don't understand why you say you don't have any issue that there was nothing wrong that denying money for entering the Claudia presidential lounge. You don't find anything wrong with that.
It could be an issue, but now I'm serious because it's just a protocol, probably miscommunication or whatever. But what really troubles me is the resignation of Mobile Molu.
What is it so troubling?
Mobile Molu, he's being a party chairman. He made some statement that he should not have made. And that statement is really, really caused a serious damage to the relationship between him and the president.
What statement he made? What statement did he make?
As a chairman, you cannot look at your stand-up bearer and go on the radio
and say what?
And then say he do XYZ.
Which one you call XYZ? I don't understand ABC or XYZ. What is that? No. Don't keep it in the dark. I will not be able to react to what you're saying. Which one is XYZ?
Okay. You cannot say that. You cannot say, the president sleep with women to give them a job. No. These are things that you go in the corner and give the president advice. But to come on the radio, no man is perfect. Everybody do, foolishness at times. So this kind of issue, you go in the point, man, this and that, we don't have to do it. But to get on the radio, I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad, and that really crippled the relationship with president. Even it had been me.
So he was there. He was just there as an empty shell. It was nothing.
No, you know how to be an empty shell. You get to give the president advice also, or you don't do it like that. And I don't think that was the right way he did it. So even man said that, you can't advise him that every man will get shit. What made a mention made angry?
I wonder you were speaking matter of factly. What you talking was with the factual?
You say that,
was he talking the fact about the events as they occurred in the inner circle of the CDC?
Well, what you are saying the fact or not, that's for sure. I don't really know, but I just saying I was not the rightful way,
Yeah, to put it so bluntly, it was so degrading and so embarrassing.
That's the problem there.
Thank you very much. Call me on that number on 0777 107. You'll be live from 50 on Sky 107. Let's go back to line 6. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where you calling me from?
Okay, this is Anthony. I join you from Finland.
From Finland. Tony, go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning, T-Max. T-Max, I just want to say a very big thank you to you and your team in the studio there. But I want to respond to some other issues, mostly regarding the issue of the denial of the...
Okay, let's get into that.
The Claudia or executive lodge. The issue there is that I want my brothers from the south and the other side of the CDC to understand that building that area, that area being built on the president, we as administration doesn't necessarily mean that it's president. We as property deserve all right to use it at any time as they will. We should learn the fact that a government is not run by an individual, it's run by the entire country, and then there's rules that govern the government. The issue there is the law that the act that created the usage of executive lodge at any airport. Regime. Those are laws our own book. Those are laws our own book. Long back before even President Black would become president. So we all should be abiding of the law. I want my brothers from the CDC, even the executive laws they are talking about. When even it is class, because the citizens are feeling that because it's named class, we are executive laws, that means George Weah's property, which they are wrong. The government that is in power has all right to regulate every other thing belonging to that airport. That's my first point. My next point is, even the sport park that George Weah built, if the current government is say, okay, people will pay to enter. If George Weah comes there, he will pay to enter. He cannot break the law.
Thank you very much. Call me on that number on 07777 Can we get to Kula if you can and get to this caller? Good morning.
I think Kula is basic.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where you calling us from? Have we lost that caller?
And I phoned in from Lower Majili County this morning.
Go ahead.
I listened to the talking points. And first thing to start with, the issue has to do with the former president entering his country yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I was very meticulous when the presidential press secretary pull up on OKFM and provide clarity and some of those misleading information within the public space. Himalaya be a starting firstly that former President Weah is no longer the president. And there are certain protocols whenever it is put in place, you should not go about maybe wanting to violate them. Even Sekou Kalasko Damaro, even on our program, we listen to him. He said they were in route coming from Ghana when he made a phone call to the Minister of State. So you cannot read certain protocol and then you come out of the day because of political sentiment you want to exercise. And quickly with the CDC chairperson Morva said it will take some time and it will be very much hard for the CDC to get back at the kind of status they had in Liberia yesterday. Because if you have your chairman coming out at this kind of a time where you just came from an election defeat, resigning from your party, and other people are saying, oh, they let him go. I think it is not fair. There were a lot of things that this particular individual did. Yes, we agree. Some of them were very much a treasure for this country, and it has some impact on your party. Today, that person is leaving I don't know, should I say answer honestly? It is now helping for that party. And for the property issue, CDC today, they are even listening to the president when he came back, how you speak on AOC society. You serve as Senate for this party for close to 12 years. Now, your party property in a code of competent jurisdiction. So, do you know where we are heading now, especially from the angle of your party? So these are things that they need to be speaking on, and just for attracting themselves to a mere party or maybe entry of presidency.
Thank you very much. Call me on those numbers on 07777
Good morning.
Let's go back to the line. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Oscar and I call from Oro.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, you see, back then, I can remember that they seen CDC or seditions that causing loss all around here. The former president not using the presidential lodge. They also stopped the opposition at that time from using government venues. If I can remember, they stopped the United Party from using SKD. So, you see, treat others the way you want them to treat you. And when it comes to Molu issue, I just believe that when things fall apart, even in the center can hold. So that's their own personal affair. But for the presidential lodge, the thing already described itself. You VIP, go to the VIP era. Presidential lodge only for president. So I see no problem wrong with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we take that break, let me give you some excerpt. Do we have another caller on the line? Okay, let's go to that caller before I read some serious excerpt from the letter of resignation from my friend and brother and my son, Morba Molo. Let's go back to the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Team Agilante. How you doing?
I'm all right. Is that Sam Gibson?
No, this is Emmanuel Mark calling from Philadelphia.
Oh, you're coming from the city of love. Go ahead, my brother. Put it up.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So Tima, I don't really want to waste your time and go into history. When you look at Liberia just starting to enjoy or to exercise what they call democracy, what they call rule of law. Because I believe the very first time that Liberia tried to enjoy rules of law or for law to be put into place, it was during President Turnbull administration. giving everyone the opportunity to come into government who you are, wherever you are. Because Tubman, no, 27 years, so that was not democracy. He came over before he could start something. Bingo, they killed him from power. When Doe took over, it was all dictatorship. Before you low, Chancellor came over, they killed him. So it's like the new generation that came on, it's like we did not experience what they call rules of law or democracy. We are just enjoying that. So people like George Oponwia, president, or the former president, get into power, and everyone surrounding him get that notion, the same way from President Taylor time, that as long as you fight, you can take somebody's house, as long as you live inside, it belongs to you. Anything you fight for, it's for you. So these guys incorporated this thing into their party. This thing is very simple and plain. The thing is presidential lunch, whatsoever you call it. So if I say it belongs to him, he has to pass through it. I think he should enter the executive mansion at any time as his will. Or the car that was given to him or that have been taken away from him, he should use it at any time he wants. We need to understand this thing and put it into perspective. And until we do that, we will take it as wish hunting. And that's not true. Let me put it this way. We all sat down around here and said the president was rich. He's $1 million man. $80 million man. Why is it that he did not build this institution with his own money and put Clara Weah name on them? Why? And they make us to feel that, yes, it is their own money that they use, and for that reason, their need should be attached to it. I thought before a need is attached to a project that is carried on by the president using the country money, it should pass through the legislature before that need be placed on that institution. So if you look at it, it was just dictatorship doing everything that is fine. And I will end with this two statement. It's like if you are not on a football field, you will not know how to score the goal. But as soon you get up from that football field and look in the goal, oh, the goal is supposed to go in that corner. And that's what Open have been doing. All this time, these AWL people dying, ministerial death, and he coming to pronounce what happened without proper investigation, without autopsy, and the case go down. Nothing has been talked about it. Now he understands that there is an AWL. Come on. There is something that is going on here, like you said. So I just want to advise all of my citizen friends, this is about time that we all open our eyes and see what the new government can project into our society. Whether we get rule of law, whether things that will be done the right way. And I will end with this. Sorry for calling this person name. When it comes to the place that CDC have been renting. You know, on Spoon TV, they brought this stuff up. And one of their co-hosts said, the former minister, he said it was lie. And I used to trust this guy so much in the fact that he was still opposition, still fighting on his parties, still putting on stuff that he's there representing the party. I admire him. But when he denied that it is not true, and I'm listening to you this morning, reading the same information that Stephen Waters read, and he denied it, I lose confidence in him. I'm so sorry to say that. I lose confidence in him. T-Matt.
Thank you very much. Before we close, let me read some excerpts from Mobile Models.
Right.
Strong resignation.
Right.
Say, now that I'm no longer chairman of the party, he said, I have newfound freedom to advocate for social justice and champion the interests of marginalized communities, irrespective of political affiliation. In the coming months, I intend to engage in consultation with relevant stakeholders, both within and beyond the CDC, aiming to rally passionate individuals to safeguard democracy, promote good governance, and uphold the rule of law. While I trust that the CDC will continue in this effort to address injustices, while I trust that the CDC will continue its efforts to address injustices and uphold the Unity Party-led government accountable, I am committed to contributing from a civil society perspective, advocating for peace, good governance, human rights, the rule of law, social and economic equality for all Liberians. Is that a travesty? Or it's a newfound religion?
We know
You dumbfounded.
we know where Mr. Molo came from. He was a street preacher in Ghana. He was a towering advocate in the CDC. He was addressing press conferences, making strong statements.
Mhm.
That energy he
It-
came with in politics, and then
It stayed there.
he came to power. Somehow it was silenced because they were in power. But then unfortunately, he did not get the support from the organization that he fought for, that he risked his life for over time. Now he feels that I think he's seeing how people can be marginalized. He can clearly define marginalization.
He
because
can. He now
hims-
realizes
right
the burden of injustice.
injustice. He knows what it means. He knows the pain that comes with marginalization. So, talking about marginalized communities, he didn't have to come openly to say, I am now the hero of marginalization because I have lived marginalization. I have gone there. I've been there. I've seen myself fighting to make someone who they didn't want to be. We fought to make this person. We came to town, like Professor Wilson Tapa would say, we brought the government to town. They brought the government to town. He was sidelined because of an error. So if such a person is saying he's going to now start speaking for marginalized communities, is he going to speak for Gifty Lama and Abba Peters? Is he going to speak for Batin Yensua? Is he going to speak for the Mason boys? Is he going to speak for Nancy Doe, who could not get her benefit, even though she won a case at ECOWAS?
You see, that's why he's committed to doing.
Is he going to speak?
That's why he says he's going to. I'm reading what he said.
For the beaches and waterways workers who bread was taken from their mouth.
He's going to speak for that.
T-Max.
He said you're going to talk for the injustices. But let me, before we close, because our time is up.
Right.
I went to Sunday school in Bento, Zion Praise Baptist Church. That was Sunday school days.
Right.
I don't know what it was like in Foya. And they gave us the story about the guy Saul, handsome. And you know the story, for the story of Saul, they came from the Old Testament.
Right.
When God brought Israel from the bondage of Egypt, crossed in the Red Sea, gave them food and gave them light in the face of darkness, and they betrayed Jesus. They started building statues of gold. Saul, and they went to prophet Simeon and said, "Look, we want to be like other nations. We want
to choose our own leaders.
We want to choose our own leaders." And Samuel went to God in South Claus and say, "God, they say they want their own leader." God said, "Samuel, you be quiet.
Yeah,
it is not you that they're talking to. It is not you they're talking to. It is me, who crossed them the Red Sea on a pavement that the world has never experienced.
On carpet pavement.
On carpet.
Red
pavement.
carpet.
No. Now you're political red carpet.
But I Red Sea now.
On milky carpet.
Right.
Milky.
And they ate manna that they didn't work for.
They didn't work for. They saw light that they didn't pay for.
They hit the stone, water came out of it.
That's me they're talking about. Samuel, don't kill yourself. Fast forward, I take you back to the days of Saul. He was Saul. And he was persecuting the Christians. Then one day on this Damascus road, Jesus arrested him. Saul became the champion, the biggest crusader. Now he became Paul.
Yeah.
Then he will say today, like John Mobile Monroe is saying, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. All things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new.
And I go back to advocacy.
I'll go back to advocacy.
We'll call it a day, team.
Thank you very much. And I know we come to the end of this edition of 50/50. My name is Steve Mas. Thanks for being there. If all goes well again tomorrow, I'll be here again.
Right.
To revoke a controversial issue. I'm not for peace. I'm for war.
Oh.
See you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye for now.